Welcome to the section on high water line development. After this module, you should be able to, first, understand how high water line is determined. Second, apply engineering judgment to evaluate the necessary freeboard. And third, estimate a new high water line or verify a high water line based on hydraulic data. So at the most basic level, high water line is determined by consultation with the community. When you receive a site profile.dwg file, the high water line is marked based on this consultation. Now, more information about this process is discussed in the Site Feasibility and Surveying course, number 321 on Bridge.edu. A lot more information and specific processes go into actually determining this high water line in who we chat with at the community, when and how we chat with them, and how we verify this by being on site and checking for signs of erosion and signs of storms. But all this information and the process we go through is tabulated or discussed in the Site Feasibility and Surveying course. Now, as you learned in the basic design course, all sites are treated as gorges with a 3-meter required freeboard until proven otherwise. This is a conservative assumption, especially with the effects of climate change making real impacts each year. Now, if the site seems infeasible with 3 meters of freeboard, you want to consider the following before lowering the freeboard requirement. First, are large or full-grown trees in the site media and visible on site? Are the effects from a previous storm event visible on the banks? What geohazards are upstream? Are there dams? Are there boulders? Are there trees that could come downstream or overflow? And how deep is the high water line? Is it even possible that it can carry large debris that could slam into the bridge deck during a storm event? How much surface area does the freeboard add to the river rise? Is it double or is it triple? You can think about spread versus rise in classifying a floodplain. And I've drawn a little, just a rudimentary diagram for you here showing more of a floodplain type environment where we have our high water line and the area that the freeboard adds above that high water line is 3 times the area that is formed by the high water line, or a gorge situation where the area of the water by the high water line is the same as just the area added by the freeboard. So that's why there used to be this different requirement for gorges versus floodplains. Now, like I said, we start with 3 and we have to really need to justify a floodplain situation in order to use that denomination. And one of the ways you can do that is you can look at the spread versus rise and see how much area your freeboard envelope really adds. And then finally, get familiar with your site on Google Earth. Use the time history function to see if the river has significantly changed or widened over time. This will give you some insight into erosion. It will give you insight into what is happening during flooding events and where the water might be reaching. So these are all qualitative measures for evaluating high water line and the proposed freeboard requirement. In the next section, we will turn to quantitative methods for estimating and/or verifying the high water line.